How some men end up in prison for no fault of theirs. I am a medical doctor, while my husband is a software developer. We both had good jobs until my husband lost his job, and getting another well-paid job became difficult. We both decided that I should travel to Canada for a job I got around that time, and when I am stabilized, he will join me with the children. We are blessed with 2 girls. We continued with our lives. In December 2018, I decided to come to Nigeria for the festivities and to celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary. When I arrived, I noticed a tense atmosphere between my daughters and their father. I thought it was a teenager-parent kind of issue, so I ignored it. But when I noticed that my daughters would sometimes be rude to their father, I demanded to know what was going on. This became a matter of concern because my daughters used to adore their father. I tried several times to get my daughters to speak with me, but all they had to say was for me to talk to my husband. I had to ask my husband what was going on. He told me it was nothing he could not handle and that our daughters were keeping bad company in school, and because of this, he decided to disallow them from going out and attending parties. He dropped them off at school and made time to pick them up immediately after they closed. I was happy, as such a strong hand is needed for teenage girls. I then ignored their attitude. Few days before I was to travel back to Canada, I called my daughters to speak with them. After a long talk, they told me that Daddy did not want them to go out because he was having an affair with both of them. What? My daddy? Impossible. There was no way such a responsible man could do that, let alone to his own children. When my husband came back from the office, I confronted him, and they repeated what they told me in his presence. My husband denied it vehemently, but the girls insisted that it was happening. He's been having affairs with them. I was confused, and I sought the counsel of our pastor and his parents. They called our daughters, and they said the same thing. I didn't know who to believe. My husband kept begging me to believe him, but I just was not ready to listen because I could not see why our children would lie about such a thing. I made arrangements and took my children back to Canada with me, despite the loans I had to take for the extra costs. While I filed for divorce, I raised my children alone for about 3 years. Then I heard the news that my now ex-husband was getting married to someone else. I mentioned it to my girls and expressed how sad I was that a man who would do that to his own daughters went scot-free because there is no serious evidence to push the case. I burst out crying like an orphan while apologizing to my girls for what he put them through. It was there and then that they confessed to me that their father did not touch them, and have never even tried touching them. They told me they lied because their father did not give them the freedom to do what they wanted, and they wanted to leave Nigeria. They wanted their freedom badly and at all costs. And that it was a good opportunity for them to leave Nigeria to join me here in Canada. My world shattered. I couldn't feel alive anymore. What did I just hear from my daughters? You framed your biological dad for this? Something that could have landed him in prison for decades. So your father was right? He was innocent? I believed my husband, but who would ever think their daughters would create such a huge crime and push it onto their dad? Who wouldn't believe the children's words against those of their dad in such a situation? I am so devastated now. Where did the children learn this from? Who might be behind all this? Where do I start? How do I go back to my loving husband? How do I beg my husband? What do I say? I probably should have trusted my husband and taken his words for it, but I was just trying to be a good mother to our children. I've lost a good man. Yes, I've lost a great and highly responsible man. I just can't stop myself from crying. How do I get him to forgive his children and me? Can I still save my home? How do I win my loving and caring husband back? I don't want to lose him. And most importantly, how do I get him to love his daughters again? Somebody help me, please. My brothers and sisters, this is a real-life story that needs our attention and guidance. Kindly let us know via the comments section your views on the entire issue and the lessons that can be learned from it. In every situation, take a breath and seek professional help before acting, for there are always 2 sides to the story, and one is false. Be safe out there.